open. Middle's open. Shot Q. I like it, Q. Sprint back. You take the middle. Mo, you get in the middle for UConn. Blow by. Get by him. Thank you. Shoot on the ground. Stand. Right up, lead. Sprint back. Stop ball. Take middle, lead. Take middle. Bob, let's go. Air ball. Go. Push. You got it. Let's go. 2-3. Hey. Don't gamble. Bob. Let's go. Mo. Come on, Mo. Right there, two. Hey, watch your corner. Guys, watch your left. Good. Come on, kill that too easy. Grab the ball. Push, lead. Oh my God. Hey, coach.
I can't get a read on what this place is. They're actually like making graphics.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure it out too. Like,
I can't.
Fire!
This place
Fire!
is so
Fire!
weird. Like I'm surprised I haven't actual. I guess it's
playing
probably.
like Glascow in
Good, 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 good! Good! Back door! Back door! Good! Fire! Fire! Come on, bro.
I believe the last game starts at then. Yeah. It either starts at 8 or ends at 8.
That is crazy long.
Oh, but I think one court has a 6 o'clock game and one has a 12 o'clock game. I don't think they have time. I don't remember which is which. I don't know which are the short straw. I gotta go back to Maryland too.
How far is the drive for you?
It'll take me an hour and a half.
I'm an hour and a half.
Hopefully it's late enough like that I don't have to get up.
That's true.
That's true.
That is a dangerous spot with that Southern 95.
Yeah. But honestly, like normally, because I'm used to going back and forth from Philly all the time. Like I've already done the worst part of the drive. Basically.
Yeah.
Starting from here.
Because
This stretch sucks. Just getting out of Philly and through Delaware. And then you get the 4 to 6 lane highways. Now
I was on, I think I took 276 here to 95, and that was, it was nice. There's no one on the road right now.
where did you live?
Doylestown, Bucktown. Hour and a half.
I was there the other day.
Do we have an event there or something?
My buddy lives up there. Whenever I have like a friend, like it's a birthday or something, like I'll make a whole thing of it and be like, alright, I get to work 6 days. That's just kind of my schedule. It's a little more convenient. And if I string enough different events together, I can count already to get a day at a time.
True. That's smart.
It's just always nice.
Yeah, that's a little paid trip right there.
Well, because he's like, in his head, he's like, oh, I'm not paying for gas in this way.
True.
Because I would have to go back and forth so much.
Yeah. Oh, the whistle's gonna bug me out every time.
Dude, yesterday, I could not figure out where the whistles were. It blew my mind when I never saw the players, like, stop for the whistle over here.
It is easier when you're on the court. Like, you can,
I think you get a little better.
yeah, like we're in the middle of two.
Yesterday I could not.
Whenever I had games, so I would have like lacrosse games in this kind of setup. It's just a little easier because the fields are bigger. But like, everyone in your way. Oh no, you're good.
All of this shit.
You're good. All I need is space for a notebook. I'm not gonna have a laptop out. I would just say are you not doing like rosters?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. But yeah, usually I would just play to the like triple tweet.
Well, yeah, that's why, like, I always think about, like, he was on his football and whatever, and I love that screen and I have to play through the whistle.
Yeah.
Play ends after the whistle.
Oh, exactly.
And at the time, I was
like people saying like, oh, maybe like 15 minutes late. So he walks in 15 minutes late. Yeah. Has not yielded any positive results. And this is all high school?
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen some people play that you look at and you go, I don't know if that's actually high school. But yes, allegedly they are.
Okay.
Every once in a while you get like a tatted up guy where you're like,
Yeah, you're not quite sure.
when some of them, every once in a while you get a team that's just like bigger, faster, stronger than everyone else.
Yeah.
They got
Oh,
that
butter.
facial hair.
I like that shot.
I like
Get
it.
there. Get there. Come on, Chris.
So you never know.
Stop. Stay there. Track it. Come on.
Go, we go! All four to me, all four to me!
Heads up, prep.
Is it halves or quarters?
Halves, they're 18-minute halves running.
Steve, look where you at, Steve!
Oh, shot clock is 35 seconds. It resets all the way on offensive rebounds.
Okay. 30, you said 35 seconds?
35, it will reset to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Come on, Steve!
We've also noticed within the last 3 minutes of the game, they stopped the running clock for fouls minutes. It does not seem consistent in the practice.
Okay.
They'll keep it running. But in a close game, they won't let it end on,
Yeah.
during free throws, which is good.
Yeah. That's good.
Whoa! Oh, you back, Kyrie. Oh, you back, Kyrie. This one.
I'm trying to think if there was another free throw.
What do you want to know?
They do the further art for 3 points.
No, the high school, I believe.
High school's close art.
Steve, take the win.
Go, Chris, go, Chris, go, Chris.
I'll take a look. I'm sure someone's gonna put up a 3.
Yeah, we'll see.
Stay in, Green. Obi one, Chris. Obi, Chris.
So when I am snagging replays, if I'm not running that many, it's running these stoppages.
Okay.
But I've mostly been grabbing them when I can.
It's something that's super cool.
Yeah. In an obvious situation, I'll have it.
Yeah. If there's something that like happens too that like I'm like, oh, I want to talk about that, I'll like give you a tap
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
too.
I'll make sure to catch it.
But
For the most part, I've used them like
Yo, stack.
if you every once in a while, like when you if you go to take a break during a timeout or something, that's all I want to just like as I leave here. But
And also, I do have a minor problem today. I'm expecting a call that I do have to take. I was told it would just like come this weekend. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten it yet, so it might.
So now you're on the clock.
Yeah, it might come When Ari texted me about this initially, he just said 12 to 4.
Yeah, I didn't originally get that.
Yeah, when he told me 11, he just texted me like a couple days ago, and he was like, "So you still good? Wellington 11 to 8." I was like, "What?" Yeah. For me, I'm just like still being unpaid. It's tough to go like 9 hour, 10 hour days, and be like, and I'm leaving broker than when I came with gas and food I'm paying for.
Still out. Is he still out?
Hello and welcome everybody to the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. My name's Ryan Cuney and today we'll be watching Team Glasgow taking on Octorara. Octorara in gold, Glasgow in black. Glasgow just won their game against Olney a couple minutes ago. Saw that here on Court 2 on the Sports Fanbase Network. It was a low-scoring game, but we'll start off this one with a three that won't fall. That was Jameel Gould. Other way we go, quickly up and in is Carter Lambert. Should be an interesting matchup here. We'll see how the energy levels for Glasgow affect their play today. Strong inside move, can't be finished off. That was Sayer Thomas. Carrying the other way, worked inside. Still not able to get any points here for Glasgow. Spinning along the three-point arc is Josiah Harris. But now pace of play is going to be slowed down. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 35 seconds total per shot clock in these matchups. It's Brown. Brown puts one up off the backboard, way off the mark. Three on the way, three's way short. Both teams trying to find their ranges here early on. Pushing the pace of play a little bit, coast to coast, that's going to be blocked. Carter Lambert. Nice defensive effort. Adjusting now on the wing. It is Lambert, now to the corner. Driving along the baseline and not really getting anything for throwing it away. Yeah, turnover now. Glasgow going to take over possession. Tried a Euro inside, lost it for a second, but got it right back. Now in the corner with it is Gould, worked inside, shot up, not going to fall, that's Harris. Ball dribbled out of bounds. Octorara take over. Mid-range, there you go. It's a good way to get back involved. Carter Lambert, the only man with points so far today. He's got a block as well. Lambert proving to be a force early on. Shot on the way. Here's Brown. That one's airballed. Brown can shoot, but he's just a little off the mark. We saw a tough and one bucket from him in the first game of the day. We've got a full slate of basketball for you here today as well. And we're taking it to about 8 o'clock here at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. But now it's Lambert possessing. Quick ball movement. Finds its way to the baseline. Now to the wing. Inside again. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters out here, and a foul will finish it off. Quick ball movement. The perpetrator is Mekhi Wiggins, number 6 in black. It's going to send Laszlo Christian to the line. Christian's first shot up and good. He's looking for shot number 2 here to send Octorara up 6-0, and he's got it. Some ground to make up now for Glasgow. So they were dominating Olney the entire game last game. Now they find themselves in an early drought, somewhere they haven't been so far today. Brown's blocked inside, but the mess is cleaned up by Sayer Thomas. Pace of play, picking up a little bit. At the foul line, losing possession is Christian. Now Brown's carrying across half court. He spins inside, makes one man miss, dumps it off on the block. We'll slow down right back to Brown on the baseline. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds trying to traverse around an Octorara defender. Possessional flip. Worked inside Christian. Christian thought about a mid-range, but dumped it off. And Lambert was there to clean it all up. Here's Brown. Push down to Thomas. Thomas, big, strong player in the block, but he's just going to throw it away there. It's Christian now. 3 ball on the way from the wing. Money. Chase, Fetro. Going to force a timeout to send Octorara up 11-2. Glasgow is finding themselves in a tricky position here with 12 minutes to play in this first half. We're going to take a quick break here on the Sports Fanbase Network, but stay right here for more Nothing But Net action. And we are back here at court number 2 at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy for this high school showcase. Possessing is Morrow. He'll dump it off and get it right back. It's worked inside. It's been nice ball movement early on, but again, strong defense here from Octorara. Foul's going to be called, or no foul. Said it was swatted away, but last to touch it was a Glasgow defender. Vito Vespi really wanted a foul call there. Had his palms to the ceiling, but he'll get it right back. Kicks it to the corner. 3 on the way. That was way off the mark from Christian. Hit the side of the backboard. So now we'll hold up here as Christian ties his shoe. And Angel Morrow receives the inbound pass. He'll work it inside, but it's not able to be corralled. Christian has it now after the turnover. And he'll throw it away as well. And they'll say it knocked off a Glasgow defender. Octorara is going to keep possession. Worked inside, a lot of contact, no foul called. Really nice play made on the baseline by Vito Vespi. Ball was going out of bounds, and so was he. He just swatted it off of a Glasgow defender to retain possession. 3 on the way, corner, yeah! Money again from Fetro. Here's Morrow with the left hand. Rimmed out just a little bit. Fighting for the rebound is Bryce Joseph, and he'll lose it. It has been the defense of Octorara that has been the story all this first half, these first 8 minutes. There has been no answer from Glasgow. They've got to find a way to loosen up here as they get a turnover. They've got the numbers advantage. Out to the corner. Morrow to the wing. Now it's inside off the backboard. Won't fall. That was Gould. Gould's got it again. Out to the wing. 3 ball. Just rimmed out. No production yet. It's 14-2. That ball was turned over. That was LT Madison. Morrow's got it now. It's worked over to Gould. Gould down to Joseph. Joseph just not able to hang on. Smothering defense once again. This time it was David Twyman. He was accompanied too by LT Madison. Madison despite not being the tallest guy on the court, he has got some smothering defensive ability. That ball just found a gap in the court, not going to connect with anyone. Glasgow's going to take over. Now it's Daniels. Daniels to Morrow. Morrow's going to take his turn, and it's going to be snatched out of his hands by none other than Fetro. Fetro works it to the corner. 3 ball just a bit long. Fought for and lost briefly by Octorara, but a foul is going to keep the ball in their possession. We'll see a whole litany of substitutions now. So an inbound for Octorara on the way. Now it finds Twyman to the corner. Now top of the key, 3 on the way. Front of the rim, just short. Glasgow's got the board. It's going to allow Gould to take it up. And it's worked across to Clark, and Clark dumps it back. Here's Harris working inside. Now to Thomas. Thomas with some strength. He'll be blocked. Offensive rebound able to be gotten, and Clark is there to clean up everything. Here's Lambert. It's worked over to Twyman. Twyman trying to wiggle loose, puts up a 3, no good. Full court pass into the hands, and a foul going to be called. The victim is Winston Clark as he got it in transition. He's grabbing at his shoulder pectoral area right now in a little bit of pain, but he'll head to the line. First shot is nailed. That could be huge. He's just getting a couple of free throws to go through. Glasgow really just has not been able to buy a bucket here in the early goings. Just seeing a couple of free buckets go through, maybe all they need. Let's get into the shooter's mentality, at least for Winston Clark, number 4. So now it's Twyman. Twyman's taking on Thomas. He won't take that matchup. Worked out to the corner. 3 on the way. Not going to fall. That was off the hand of Mattingly. The ball careens past the bleachers there, so we'll see a Glasgow inbound. Brown to take it up. This is Sincere Brown. Crafty inside finisher. Strong outside shooter. Trying to make a move now. Step back, shot up, and 1. They're going to say shot on the floor. That really looked to be in the shooting motion to me. I thought Sincere Brown had a tough and-1 finish. Instead, they're going to say the foul from LT Madison was on the floor. That inbounds pass unsuccessful. It just went right through the legs of Winston Clark. That's a really tough break for Glasgow. Think you're going from an and-1 bucket. Really start to get the momentum back, but instead you just turn it over. Now let's see the ball head the other way, and yet another brilliant move. This time it was Noah Wise. He was heading out of bounds, so was the ball. Chucked it off of Zaire Thomas. And they'll keep possession. So you can see really strong coaching here from Octorara. Multiple players making really savvy moves to buy another possession. There's Wise, he'll lose it. And there's really strong defense from Zaire Thomas. Strong body, he'll get it in transition. Nice catch made, but he'll be stepping out of bounds trying to field it. tough move. Octorara inbounding with Wise. Laszlo Christian's got it. He'll got to step coast to coast, and he'll be fouled as he puts one up. Shot won't fall, but he'll head to the line for 2. Decisive move there to go coast to coast. Not something we really see from this Octorara squad. Usually it's about 3 or 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 passes before any attempt at the basket is made, but this time Laszlo Christian just decided, hey, it's my turn. I'm going to take this myself. He can't hit the second free throw, but Twyman able to field the offensive rebound. We'll see a 3-ball, and that's a 4-point play. Completed courtesy of Chase Mattingly. Now it's Sincere Brown. He's working against Madison. Brown's not going to take the pick from Thomas. 3 on the way. It's Brown. Brown's long. Offensive rebound for Glasgow. Spinning inside. Not able to finish the first time or the second. How about a third? It's going to be blocked. That was Josiah Harris, who had 3 attempts at it and just couldn't get one to fall. Last shot was blocked, so Harris will head to inbound. Now, if I'm in this position here, I'm thinking Zaire Thomas needs to get more involved offensively. He's got to work the post game. He's got to get in the block. Just saw him there starting the possession out outside the 3-point arc. They tried to get him the ball. It just didn't pan out. Looks like they'll work to Thomas early. Thomas setting a pick for Brown. Brown thought about the mid-range. Give and go to Thomas. That's strong basketball there. Thomas will head to the line. And if they can keep him involved off of some nice ball screens, give and goes, back cuts, he's going to be a menace and the key to getting back into this game. But first step is you got to hit your free throws. Second one nailed from Thomas. Now we're in the corner. It's worked on the baseline. They're going to get Thomas with the foul. He was screaming in to swat Vito Vespi. Now Vespi's going to head to the line. He'll have a chance with 2, 45 seconds and counting in this first half. 18-7 the score. It's been relatively low scoring today. Glasgow certainly not out of it, but they've got to get big number 7 involved, more so than they have been thus far. So here's Gould. He's working with it. 24 seconds to shoot. Shot clock turned off. Brown with an opportunity at the last shot at the half. You got to imagine he'll hold for it. He's initiating now. He'll just turn it over. That's a critical mistake. 1-on-2 opportunity. Here's Christian. He's got it. 7 seconds now to end the half. Here's Harris. Harris full court pass. That's intercepted. And that's going to do it. A cataclysmic ending to the half for Glasgow and a spectacular first half for Octorara. 20-7 the score. We're going to take a 2-minute break here at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. You're watching the Sports Fan Base Network. Stay right here for second half action. And we welcome you back for the second half here at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. You're watching the Sports Fan Base Network. My name's Ryan Cuney. We've got 18 more minutes of basketball here. Octorara taking on Glascow. Octorara has been dominant thus far, but Glascow with a decisive start. They need to get that man involved. Sayer Thomas, number 7. We'll head the other way. Pump fake, baseline move, 3 on the way. That was a stepped out of bounds just before the 3. So Glasgow's going to take over. Now with it is Morrow. Morrow works to Thomas. Thomas inside, up and under. Just not enough on it. Here's Lambert. Lambert, a really strong start to the half. It's worked along the baseline and an easy finish for Noah Wise. Morrow looking to respond. He's facing off against Christian. To the corner. Now here's Gould. Gould dumps it off. Shot on the way. Short off the front of the rim. 3-ball shooting has not been good for Glasgow. Now they're in transition. 3-on-1. Lambert. He'll be fouled. Carter Lambert's going to head to the line. Surprised with Octorara with the 3-on-1 opportunity. Usually they are pass happy, but this time Carter Lambert decided he got it. It's mine now. First free throw up and good. We'll see a couple of substitutions. Sincere Brown checking back into the game. Winston Clark back, as well as Bryce Joseph, number 21 in black. Morrow's going to take a seat on the bench. Harris able to corral the missed free throw. And now it's Clark dumping it back off to Brown. Brown surveys. And now directing traffic. He's trying to find Thomas. Doing so. Brown. Way outside. He's got a pick. Won't take the shot. Now it's Clark to Harris. Harris worked inside. Back to Clark. Shot up. Airballed. An anticlimactic finish to that possession. Will stay 23-9. Glasgow just with no offensive answers here for Octorara. Lambert was thinking about a 3, but instead he'll dump it off to Fetro. Lambert gets it right back. It's worked inside nicely. 3 on the way. Just rims out. Can't get it to fall. Zaire Thomas's pass is stolen by Fetro. Now a 3-on-2 opportunity. Dumped off, and once again it's finished off by none other than Noah Wise. Wise has been a demon in the paint, especially off the block. That's going to force a timeout from Glasgow. 25-9 the score, 14:25 to play. We'll step aside for a brief moment here. You're watching the Nothing But Net High School Showcase on the Sports Fan Base Network. We are back, and we're watching Sincere Brown carry across half court. He's guarded by Fetro. Pass that was worked inside was picked off. Now Fetro's got it. It's worked to the corner. A little hesitation, but driving inside and getting stuffed. like a Thanksgiving turkey is Vito Vespi. Here's Brown the other way. Into Clark. Clark's got it off the glass. Finally, a bucket for Glasgow. Fetro to Lambert for three. Airball. A rare airball there for Carter Lambert. Not something we see often from number 8 in gold. He's been good today, but here's Brown. Three on the way. That's blocked. Inside we go, and trickling out of bounds. Possession will stay with Glasgow, but Noah Wise has really come on in the second half and the late part of the first half. Couple of early buckets, couple of blocks. He's been everywhere. Inbound finds its way to Clark. Clark sets up for three. Not going to go. Zaire Thomas with the offensive rebound. It's worked over to Brown. Brown on the wing. He's facing off against Madison. He'll carry to his right. Waiting for a pick. 10 seconds to shoot. Losing it now is Joseph. And Fetro's going to come away with it. Full court pass. Just can't find Wise. Just off his fingertips. So a missed opportunity there for Octorara. Glasgow's going to take back over. They're only down 14, which feels Herculean at this point, just based off the inefficiency shooting for Glasgow, especially from beyond the arc. Sincere Brown going to go into a double team. He's in some trouble. Able to wiggle his way loose of that. Worked inside off the glass. Got it. That's Jacoby Johnson. So here we go the other way. Fetro mid-range. Front of the rim, won't fall. Fighting for the rebound either way. Not able to clean up the mess is Vito Vespi. Sincere Brown able to track it down in the full court. Deep two, airballed. Zaire Thomas cleans it off the glass. A little bit of a run here from Glasgow, 25-15. As Wise slices inside with the right hand, he'll be fouled. Checking back into the game now is John Grace and Carter Lambert. Weiss at the line with two. And the Octorara lead cut down to just 10. Looks like Vito Vespi checking out, as well as Chase Fetro. For Glasgow, Zaire Thomas going to take a seat in exchange for Mekhi Wiggins. We haven't seen much of Wiggins today. Weiss goes 2 for 2. Now carrying is Jacoby Johnson. Here's Gould. He thought about a three for a second, but he'll pull it right back down. Sincere Brown once again staring down Madison. He's got a pick. Out to the corner. Mid-range. Off the iron, no good. Offensive rebound able to be corralled by Glasgow. 30 seconds to shoot. Sincere Brown, a lot of contact. He puts one up. He'll head to the line. Nine minutes and 50 seconds to play and counting. Oh, and they'll say that was on the floor. Sincere Brown has not been able to get any shooting foul calls today. But he's got it once more, and he's directing traffic. Hesitated for a second, but sliced inside. He's not able to get that one to fall. Here's Lambert working the full court. Euros just rolled off the rim. Back to Brown, three. Delivered like he's Santa Claus on Christmas. Here's Madison. That's swatted off the hand Foul going to be called in transition. It's going to go against Madison. That was a huge three. Cuts the difference down to 9. Feels like it's the first time all day we've been within 10 points. Here's Sincere Brown. To Gould. Gould's fouled inside on the shot. He will head to the line. This time I'm certain of it. So an opportunity here for Glasgow, who's been way out of it all day long. Suddenly they find themselves down 9. First free throw miss, but a huge opportunity here. He's able to hit this free throw. It's a 3-possession game. He is not. Still 3 possessions, all 3 threes, although that's highly unlikely the way Glasgow's been shooting. Lambert cutting inside, dumped off to Madison. Madison's got it. Well, Team Madison, he's been strong today, especially defensively. They're able to notch a couple of scores. Here's Brown. Brown cuts inside. He's been taking over a little bit more. Clark trying to clean up the board. He won't do so. Lambert fields the rebound. Lambert being guarded by Clark. It's worked across. And an easy 2-point bucket for Chase Mattingly. Here's Clark. To the corner. 3. No. Offensive rebound not able to be obtained. Here's Madison the other way. Lambert able to get that one. This time a 3. This time it's not going to go. But another chance here for Octorara as Lambert inside a slew of Glasgow defenders. He'll be fouled. It's a tough situation that Lambert just couldn't wiggle his way out of, and now he's got 2 free throws incoming. First one nailed. 32-18, the score differential starting to expand once again. Sayer Thomas checks back into this one alongside Josiah Harris. We'll send Clark and Wiggins to the bench once more. 6 minutes 11 to play. Second free throw, no good. And a crucial rebound for Glasgow. Skip pass from Gould is knocked away. Strong defensive effort, this time by John Grace. So here's Gould. Gould to Thomas. Thomas with some strength, spinning. Yeah! That was pretty. Madison looking to respond. He'll dump it to Lambert. And a strong defensive play, but they're going to call a foul there as Mattingly was sent to the floor by the big-bodied Thomas. It's worked up top. Here's Twyman. Twyman's going to lose it for a second, but he'll corral it. He tried to save it, but it was intercepted by Johnson. Now Johnson putting one up, 3. Just a little off the mark. Lambert with the rebound. The whistle is sound. And a little bit of a fight going on here at center court. That's Sayer Thomas. He's jawing. He's drawing with John Grace. Officials having to get in between it. And some coaches headed to the floor alongside some parents. Looked to be pretty intense off the start. Clock's going to stop there at 4:51. So both teams retreated to their respective edges. Tensions have cooled. And basketball is back underway here at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. It's 32-20. Let's keep in mind here as well, Glasgow just played a full game against Olney, and that was a hard-fought win. So 2 back-to-back games are tough, but here's Twyman, cuts inside, and he just threw it back to nobody. Possession gonna stay after Jacoby Johnson tried to field it, but his foot was on the out-of-bounds line. Inbound on the way. Here's Lambert. Lambert's facing off against Harris. Lambert's gonna get double teams. That wasn't our whistle, but a little confusion, but Twyman takes advantage and nails the 3. Inside move, it's up, no good. They're gonna call a foul offensively against Jameer Daniels. A little bit of a ward there. They got him probably the right call. I mean, you saw his elbow extend a little bit. Usually that's the telltale marker that officials are gonna call. Here's Twyman. And it's dumped off. Back to Madison. A lot of pressure here from Glasgow, but a 3 from Twyman to silence him. Airballed. It's a 15-point difference. Euro inside, off the backboard. Wait, it was wedged there for a second. Full court defense here from the Dragons. To no avail as Lambert puts one up. He'll be fouled at the free throw line. In dismay is Jameer Daniels, but candidly, I'm not so sure what he's confused about. That seemed pretty cut and dry to me. So we'll see. Carter Lambert at the line once again. He's been having a nice day offensively. Ball trickles onto our court. Luckily, we're in free throws. Nothing cataclysmic there. Lambert unfazed. He nails the first. It's now a 16-point difference, and can kind of sense hope starting to run out for Glasgow here. Lambert's been a big part of the reason why, both offensively and defensively. Fetro got the scoring going early, a couple of 3 balls, but we haven't really seen that much in the second half. Thought for a second, Sayer Thomas starting to get hot, that Glasgow could come back, but they just haven't really been able to maintain any effort. Here's a mid-range from Thomas. That one's pure as the day is long. You wonder, where was that all day? Lambert kicks it down to Madison. Madison makes one man miss and just loses it for a second. You wonder if that was a little whistle confusion. Here's Sincere Brown. Sincere Brown to his right. Shot on the way. Shot gonna fall. That's Josiah. Or no, not Josiah Harris. Jameer Daniels, I apologize. And a turnover quickly is going to give Glasgow possession once again. And you wonder, with a 13-point difference, is it too little too late? They're going to get another bucket there, nice and easy. It's an 11-point difference now. Minute and 3 to play. Foul called against Josiah Harris. This time it is Josiah. It's Mattingly now. They're going to say Mattingly stepped out of bounds. There's 40 seconds to play. Clock is running. Glasgow has got to be hyper efficient, although got to admit, I think it might be just a little late, but they're starting to pour it on now. 28 seconds to play. No difference between the shot clock and game clock. Ball being worked around nicely. Here's Mattingly. He'll put one up way off the mark. Bad shot to take. Thomas is working the full court. Thomas will settle up. Can't get it to fall off the backboard. Josiah Harris will be fouled on the rebound. 6.5 to play. I mean, a commendable effort here to end the game off. 37-28 to score. And we'll see 2 free throws from Josiah Harris. It's a really strong effort to come back late in this game and make it respectable for Glasgow. And Glasgow, once again, I've mentioned it a few times before, they've already played a game today just before this. So tapping into the energy reserves late here in this second game to close the gap, certainly a commendable effort. As it looks like this one will finish off 37-30. Octorara, the champions. Glasgow go 1-1 on the day thus far. It was a fun one. The effort led by Carter Lambert, Vito Vespi, and Chase Fetro. Noah Wise also worked in there nicely, had some strong defensive plays. On the other end, Sayer Thomas was the main engine. He just couldn't get going early enough, but he had a couple of highlight plays worked in there, as well as Winston Clark and Josiah Harris. We'll take a quick break here. In about 15 minutes or so, we've got our next game coming right up. You're watching the Nothing But Net Sports Academy High School Showcase here on the Sports Fanbase Network. And we are back. Tipping off Cheltenham taking on Christiana. Cheltenham in black, Christiana in white. It's our third game today of day 2 of the Battle of the Border Basketball High School Showcase here at Nothing But Net Sports Academy. We're starting off here. It's Cheltenham possessing. Mark Hill currently in possession. He'll kick it out to Harmon. Finds its way to the corner. First guy to show up today for Cheltenham is the man possessing. Also the tallest guy on the court is Tyree Martin, so expect him to get active today offensively and defensively. Shot clock expired before the shot went up. Strong defense from Christiana to start it off. Maybe a little mental mistake from Cheltenham. 0-0 remains the score. Here we go the other way. It's Jorge Cruz. Shot on the way. Shot up. Not good. Okay. Now it's stolen quickly. Dumped inside. And that's Namir Jones with an easy, wide open bucket. Skip pass to the corner. 3 on the way. Back of the rim. Won't fall. Cruz now carrying across half court. Smothering defense on Mark Hill, but it's stolen now by Cheltenham. Here's Hill. Set up for a second in the corner. And they're going to say he double dribbled with it. So possession heads to Christiana. Unnamed player carrying it up. He's got no number. Kicks it to Cruz. Cruz for 3. Got it. Christiana 5-0 to start this game. Decisive move inside. He'll be fouled. Shot won't fall. That was Harmon, number 0. Harmon's got 2 at the line here. He's looking to get the first points here for Cheltenham today. And he will do just that. Second shot on the way. Second shot good. So it's 5-2 here in the early goings. Full court pass finds its way to Cruz. Cruz double teamed in the corner. He'll skip pass. With it now is Jameel Wade. Wade's 3, no good. Here's Martin. Wing, 3. Short. Wiggling around in the half court and getting fouled. It's a Christiana player. Foul going to be called against Mosley, number 4 in black. With a chance to head up just a bit more, the free throw is missed by the unnamed Christiana player. Chance at redemption is good. 6-2 here. Gonna meet him in the full court. Now here's Mosley. He works it down. It's McClendon. McClendon's cutting through. And they're going to say he traveled. Mental mistakes piling up here for Cheltenham. They have not been able to gain any traction offensively. It's like trying to run in a litter box. Here's Jorge Cruz on the wing. He's dancing. Skip pass is blocked by the rim. Last touch by Cheltenham defender. Now working with it is Christiana. Wide open three, got some space. Put up a mid-range. That's got it. Silky smooth. Now it's Harmon's turn. Harmon's gonna work in with his right, and that one's nice and easy off the glass. Not much to that one for Harmon. We'll head the other way. That pass intercepted by Martin. Worked across, off the glass, won't fall. There's McClendon. Now in the open court, easy transition bucket for Christiana. They're headed up 6 points now. We've been going back and forth in transition, and this is no exception. Here's Martin working with some physicality. It's going to be stolen. Once again, full court open opportunity, blocked. A late whistle is a foul call against Harmon. Soon to check into the game. Is 22 for Christiana. I apologize. That's for Cheltenham. It's Micah Millis. Millis is gonna take out Martin. Martin take his spot on the bench. Second free throw on the way. Just rolled off. Second chance at a bucket here. There's Jones. That one clattered its way through. Mark Hill initiates the contact, and he'll be fouled as he's sent to the ground. 11 minutes to play here in this first half. So we'll see an inbound from the baseline. That's Cheltenham. Finds Mosley in the corner. Now it's Millis, first time touching the ball today. Harmon, deep two. Got it. I'm going to say that was 3, actually. From my perspective, it looked like his foot was on the line, but a 3 will be called. Huge bucket for Cheltenham to get back in this one. Now they find themselves down 6 in the early goings. Strong, decisive move inside. Easy money. And a timeout called now by Cheltenham. 15-7 the score. 10 minutes to play here in this opening half. You're watching the Battle of the Border here on the Sports Fanbase Network. Stay right here for more first half action. Back at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy, you're watching the Battle of the Borders. Possessing now is Mosley. He's going to be working off a screen from Harmon. Millis trying to sweep across the court. Met with stifling defense, and he'll slide onto the ground. Foul called. Millis just lost his footing there. Inbound heads to Harmon. Mosley directing traffic now. Cheltenham needs a bucket here. They'll set up for 3. Fouled. 3 was way off, and it's Jameel Wade. He can't believe the foul was called against him. Still in utter disbelief. Palms up. But no matter what he thinks, Mosley's going to be sent to the line. He'll drill his first. These games are quick, especially 18-minute running halves. Cannot let your squad go down early. Saw that in the last game where Glascow was taking on Octorara. Octorara came out to a commanding lead early in the first half, and there was just nothing Glascow could do to come back in that one. So it's critical here that Cheltenham stays within striking distance, and they've done a good job of that. 15-10 the score. And ball went out of bounds before Xavion Robinson could get his hands on it. Just a little bit out of reach. So Cheltenham here has a chance to get back to a one-score game. I'd like to see a little bit more inside movement here from Tyree Martin, but we'll see. Quickly heading inside is Harmon, and Harmon, the decisive finish. Now here's Millis in defense. Strong defense from Millis as that ball is knocked away briefly. Worked inside off the glass, easy finish. Strong ball movement from Christiana. Leaves Cheltenham reeling. Quick stoppage of play here as a ball from the first court came over to ours. And now it's Mosley. Mosley looking to do some damage. Martin trying to post up a little bit. He's not been able to find his way here, but now he'll possess on the block. He's cutting inside, spinning inside, and they say no. Before the shot, foul was called on number 25 in white. And that's Tyre Vicks, I apologize. Harmon to the corner, three on the way. Off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound being fought for, but now lost. Now it was Harmon who was fighting for it. And now it's picked by Harmon. Harmon with a nice defensive effort. He can't clean up the steal. Luckily there's Hill. Help him out. Hill can't finish the layup. Martin steals it away. This is a team effort here from Cheltenham. It's going to end up with free throws. No bucket. Whole lot of action. Not a lot of payoff here for Cheltenham, but everybody was involved there. Stolen by Harmon, kept alive by Hill. Stolen once more by Martin. And now we'll see a substitution. Checking into the game is Peyton McClendon. And Mosley will take a spot on the bench. So some height now for Cheltenham. They certainly have that spot as an advantage as Hill able to get the offensive rebound off the missed free throw. Opportunistic point there from Mark Hill. So here's Wade over to the corner. Double team from Cheltenham. Skip pass, three ball, long. Somehow able to get the offensive rebound, but shot clock shouldn't have reset. Didn't hit the rim, it did anyway. So 30 seconds to shoot. Top of the key, three ball off the rim, rattles off. Possession's gonna stay here with Christiana as McClendon was the last to touch it. Mark Hill gonna take a spot on the bench. Inside, spinning to the corner, three. Just bounced away. Somehow again the possession stays alive. Offensive rebound. Christiana has been dominating in that aspect. Long possession, three. Front of the rim, rattles off, and a smart, savvy play keeps the possession alive once more. A fresh 30 seconds. Taking the time with it now is Christiana. He lost it for a second, but able to retain possession. It's worked over to Robinson. Robinson to Vicks. Vicks now to Samuels, and it wasn't our whistle. Mid-range. Finally, a bucket. 19-14. That one, possession took what seemed like days. Now looking to respond is Harmon. Harmon hesitated but got his pocket picked. In transition, open floor, jammed! Jameel Wade lays the hammer. A three and a beautiful response. That was from Harmon. Pace of play starting to increase. Coast to coast, underneath, bucket. They're starting to pick it up. Harmon trying to do damage of his own. Trying to slice through two, kicks it to the corner. And they're going to call it travel before the pass. Catastrophic for Cheltenham as they're down 6 with 3 minutes and 6 to play here in this first half. Doing a nice job at hanging around, but Jameel Wade and Christiana not letting them get back in it. 3 ball, delivered. Money from Xavier Robinson. Cheltenham needs to respond. 2:38 to play. Hill is blocked. Robinson kicks it over. Right back to Robinson. He can't finish the layup, but cleaning up the mess is Tyre Vicks. 2 points is 2 points, but here's Hill for 3. Yes! You betcha. We're going back and forth, and Christiana wanting to slow things down. They'll call a timeout. 28-20 the score. We've got 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play here in this opening half. It's been a good one thus far. You're watching the Battle of the Borders here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Stay right here. We are back as Christiana inbounds. Jorge Cruz now possessing. Pick on the way. Strong defense Cruz had to fight through. Here's Vicks. To the corner. Now on the baseline, and it's intercepted by Hill. Hill with a full head of steam the other way. Kicks it to the corner. 3. Way off the mark. Hit the side of the backboard. Christiana going to take over. Carrying it across half court is Abdul Turner. Now it's Vicks. Vicks works into a double team, so he'll dump it right back to Turner. Nice ball movement. Can't get the finish. Here's Harmon. Harmon loses it for a second, but he's able to regain control. He's spinning through traffic. He's backed up against the half-court line. He'll just dump it off to McClendon. Getting it back, playing a nice two-man game with McClendon. But McClendon not able to corral that, and Harmon will be credited with a turnover. 28-20, 49 seconds to play in this opening half. It's Abdul Turner. Vicks had it stolen from him. Work to Hill. Hill in transition. Off the glass. Got it. And Jorge Cruz just got it stolen in transition. It was Hill. Hill's got it once more. Defense to offense, but can't get the and one. So Hill head to the line for 2, and that's almost certainly going to do it for this first half as time continues to wind, 15 and counting. As it stands, a 6-point difference. Mark Hill with an opportunity to cut it to 4. He'll take the first step in doing so. That is going to do it for the half. Mark Hill will be the last man out there to put up the final free throw of this 18-minute frame. And he will nail it. So it's a 4-point difference as we end the first half. 28-24 is the score. It's a fun one here at the Nothing But Net Sports Academy. You're watching the Battle of the Borders here on the Sports Fanbase Network. Stay right here for second half action. And we're back now as the players retake the court, and we're getting ready to get this second half of basketball underway. It's 28-24. We've had some fireworks here in the first half. That included a slam from Jameel Wade in transition. Saw that replay a couple times. It was absolutely spectacular. Now it's Namir Jones. He's in trouble, but it'll make its way over to Wade. Foul going to be called, turnover. So Harmon inbounded it, and he found Mosley. Mosley's carrying across half court. Mosley finds McClendon. McClendon just outside the three-point arc. He'll dump it off to Harmon. Harmon's facing off against Jones. Switch comes. He dumps off to McClendon. McClendon inside. Got it off the bounce. First bucket of the day for Peyton McClendon. That would be huge if they could get him involved. Cutting through the defense was Jameel Wade. He's got his own rebound. But on the ground was Harmon to get the loose ball. Mark Hill in transition, off the glass and in. That is where Mark Hill flourishes. Once again, he's got it in transition. 2-on-2, this time he'll set up for three. Delivered like he's Santa on Christmas. Hill couldn't get a pickpocket this time. And three the other way wouldn't fall. So here's Hill. Three again, same spot. This time off the mark. And Jorge Cruz has got it now as he carries. Going against McClendon. Off to Jones. Jones inside, just missed. Got his own board cleaned up. Mark Hill now. He had 5 quick points. He's working into his right, up and under. Trying to navigate through the defense, couldn't quite do it. 3 on the way, Christiana, just long. Very inefficient 3-ball shooting today. As Hill sets up a mid-range. That one's long, McClendon on the board. McClendon cleans it up, but it looks like he elbowed Curtis Bird. Bird was grabbing at his nose. And Bird is in a lot of pain here. Looks like he took an elbow from McClendon. And after a nice sequence, Mark Hill going to take a rest on the bench. Quinn Millis to take over. Jorge Cruz able to field that fade ball off the baseline. He'll work into a double team. Now on the baseline, shot put up. It was blocked by McClendon. Mosley working. Mosley coast to coast. And the foul! All of a sudden, Cheltenham finds themselves up 35-30 with a chance to add one more. Oh, how the turntables have turned. Free throw, no good. That one was way off the mark. You heard the coach there say, hey, he might have grazed it. As they said that ball didn't hit the rim, hence the stoppage of play. So it's worked over to Smith. Smith, the turnaround. Can't get the bounce, but it's fielded by Jones, and Jones there to clean things up. He's done nicely in the paint today. It's a great matchup. It's a 3-point game, and it's Mosley possessing. He's working to his right, puts one up. Front of the rim, won't rattle home. Still clanging around, and Christiana able to field it before a foul is called. So Christiana's going to keep possession. Foul was called against Mosley, number 4 in black. And now suddenly Christiana looking to get their lick back here. Cruz, high glass, won't fall. Harmon, Millis in the corner. Front of the rim, won't fall. Offensive rebound fielded, and a savvy play to throw it off the defender. That was Mosley as he was headed out of bounds, caught the ball and chucked it off the legs of the Christiana man defending. Now it's Harmon looking to extend this lead. 26 seconds to shoot, 12 minutes to play. He's tried to work it into the paint, but it was picked off by Jameel Wade. And up and over, Millis. An easy bucket. Now it's work back to McClendon. Beautiful ball movement and stuffed by Wade. They're saying that foul on the floor. They're going to call that against Jameel Wade. Wade had a nice block there against McClendon, who had the size advantage over him. But then Wade, while he was fighting for that rebound and preventing the second chance points, he was called at the foul. Off that inbound, possession will stay with Cheltenham. It's just a 1-point lead for the boys in black as Millis inbounds. This time it's successful. 3-ball on the way. No good, just off the mark. Fighting for it was Martin, but he couldn't field it. Now it's Cruz looking to retake the lead. He's being guarded by Hill. This is a fun matchup to watch. Hill, a strong defender. Cruz, elusive. 3 on the way. Wade can't connect. Micah Millis now. He'll dump it off. We'll get it right back. Now Millis trying to fight through traffic. And it's knocked away by Wade. Possession will stay. Here's Hill. Hill dancing against Cruz. And his pass deflected and intercepted. But the same treatment given right back as Cheltenham retakes possession. Into the corner. 3 on the way. Here's Hill. Front of the rim won't fall. Jameel Wade with the board. And now it's up high floater that's not going to fall. Jameel Wade getting it right back, Eurowing through the paint. Inside, no good. Millis to 2-on-2 opportunity, make it 3-on-2. Millis is going to try to do it all himself. Strong defense by Christiana. Leaves his attempt unsuccessful and forces a timeout to be called by Cheltenham just so they can hold on. So it's a 1-point game, 35-34. 9 minutes, 58 seconds to play here. You're watching the Battle of the Borders here on the Sports Fanbase Network. We are back. Cheltenham to inbound. And it's intercepted off the rip by Christiana. That's Jones stealing a possession. Now here's Cruz trying to make something with it. Throw a fade ball. Not much going to be done with it. Ball just trickles on over into the hands of Mark Hill. Hill 1-on-1. Easy finish in transition over Cruz. Hill has been the determining factor, but Cruz kicks to the corner. 3, short. Jameel Wade, offensive rebound, but it's knocked out of his hands by McClendon. Hill has been the difference maker for Cheltenham and a huge reason why they were able to come back from over a 10-point deficit at one point this game. Here's Hill for 3. Hill can't connect. Mosley to check back into this game soon. Pick on the way for Christiana. Possessing is Smith. Smith working against Millis. He'll be double teamed and dump it off. Skip pass to Wade. Wade for 3. Way short. Wade able to keep it alive. Makes its way to Cruz. Cruz will take his turn at it. That one won't go. But the second chance points and an and one bucket. He cleaned up for the unnamed Christiana player. Well, he'll be sent to the line with a chance to tie this game up at 37. 8 minutes and 10 seconds and counting here in this contest. Drained. So we're knotted up at 37. And Mosley possessing. He works it up to Hill. Hill with some space. He'll work to his left and be blocked by Wade. Jameel Wade has been a force defensively. The Cheltenham offensive engine has not been able to overcome. But now here's Millis. Millis off the spin. Front of the rim won't fall. Carrying across half court and dumping it off. There's Jones. Jones can't finish inside, and he'll be fouled. It's been a couple of turns at it where Jones has had an open look under the basket, and he just can't get it to fall, but he's been a problem on those second chance points. Really, Christiana in general has been doing a strong job on the rebounding game. Shocking, considering they do not have the height advantage. But speaking of the height advantage, number 15, Tyree Martin's going to check back into the game for Mark Hill. So we'll see who picks up the offensive effort for Cheltenham as Hill heads to the bench. Almost another offensive rebound for Christiana, but Cheltenham able to get it. Nice move by Millis. Millis dumps it off, and almost a exclamation point by McClendon. 3 on the way. Bouncing up, bouncing in. That's Mosley. Making the way to the paint and doing the same thing right back is Christiana. Mosley looking to respond. We're knotted up at 40. 6 minutes to play. Into the corner. Here's Millis. You betcha! Nothing but nylon for number 22. That 3 in exchange won't go. It's 43-40. Cheltenham looking to run away with it. Facing off against Vicks is Mosley. A lot of space here for Mosley to operate. He'll step back and dump it off to Millis. Millis for 3. This time won't fall. And the effort from Martin was in vain as Christiana will retain possession. Here's Jameel Wade. Wade has been a strong offensive player as well as defensive. It's worked at the corner. Here's Vicks. They're throwing everything they've got. Cheltenham defensively at Christiana. Looking to make something happen. Shot up. Shot good. Pure shooting from Christiana. Mosley needs to respond. He spins inside. Step back. Mid-range. Bank is not open, but McClendon. He's the janitor of this squad, able to clean it up again. Jones working on the three-point arc. It's work to Smith. Back to Jones, now inside. Nice pump fake, underneath finish, he'll be fouled. Not a whole lot of contact there, but officials saw something they didn't love. Foul gonna go. Not quite sure who that's against. They signal number 6, but there's no 6 on the roster. Well, that's neither here nor there. First free throw drained, 43-45. Just hitting one of those shots was huge, as now it's a 2-point game. And we see missed the second one, so that is huge. Keep this a manageable lead, or manageable deficit rather. Pick on the way from McClendon. It'll be used by Mosley. Here's a 3. That's off right. Cruz on the board. He's pushing the pace. Things are slowed down a little bit. 3 on the way. Just rattles off the front of the rim. McClendon tried to keep it in, but his effort was worth nothing as he just chucked it right back out of bounds. Wade to inbound. Mark Hill checking back into this one. Millis going to take a spot on the bench. Couple of high-energy threes came off the hand of Millis. Here's Cruz. Cruz, little hesitation. Mid-range floater. Way too much sauce. It's like those Wendy's saucy nuggets. You know, it's way too much. I'm not a big fan of the saucy nugs. Hey, that doesn't really matter. It's Harmon. Harmon surveys, works over to Hill. Hill wide open. Just short. Offensive rebound by Cheltenham. McClendon is stuffed. That's Wade. And a timeout now going to be called as Cheltenham coach didn't like the precarious spot that he found Mosley in. So now Cheltenham is out of timeouts in this contest. So you only get 3 timeouts per game. And they hold the lead 45-43 in a tight one against Christiana. We're going to take a quick step aside here. You're watching the Battle of the Borders on the Sports Fan Base Network. We are back in the final 2 minutes of play here. Cheltenham leading Christiana. Now a reminder, it is a running clock here in the Nothing But Net Showcase League. However, in the final 2 minutes of play, the clock will stop on whistles, so a little bit more time for both teams to operate here. As Martin now has it outside the three-point arc. Here's Hill. Hill's got it. That's a pure stroke from Mark Hill. Can't ask for much better. 48-43. Jones able to get the rebound. He's been doing that all day long, and they'll head to the line. Minute 25 to play. Clock stopped. These free throws seemingly enormous as Cheltenham has a 5-point lead with not much time to play. And Jones, who's been seemingly living under the basket, doesn't have much to show for it today. Second free throw, no good. He went 0 for 2. And that ball rattled out of bounds. Last touch, it appeared to be Jameel Wade. So a much needed 2 points there turns into nothing for Christiana. 33 seconds to operate here for Mark Hill. He's facing off against Deshaun Smith. Looks like he'll try to use all the time he can. And it's worked back. With it is Mosley. Clendon setting picks for him left and right. 13 seconds to shoot now. Cheltenham taking their sweet time. And a foul now going to be called against Jameel Wade. We'll get an inbound right in front of our scorer's table. 52.9 to play. 5-point lead for Cheltenham. Inbound to Hill. He was tiptoeing along the sideline there, but able to get out of trouble. 27 seconds to shoot. That foul was critical as it reset the shot clock. Now it's only about a 15-second difference. Cheltenham really can get rid of a lot of time here. Foul going to be called, and disagreeing with it is a Christiana defender. Looks like they're going to get Deshaun Smith with the official foul call. And what's critical about that foul call is that now turned off the shot clock. Foul going to be called immediately. Wise play there from Cruz, as he is aware he's out of time. So now they've got to force free throws, but still not in the bonus is Cheltenham. So we'll see yet another inbounds. Successfully makes its way to Mosley, and another foul immediately by Cruz. So at this point, we're just seeing Cheltenham leech away second by second until they enter the bonus. And they're also inching further and further back into their own territory. surprisingly, no immediate foul call here. And there goes Cruz. Interesting decision as some time wiped off. Now they've got about 20 seconds to operate. Cruz verifying he's only at 3 fouls. Once again, Mosley's able to corral it. 18 seconds to play. Cruz gonna foul him. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not certain why Cruz is delaying his fouls. It's just leeching off even more valuable moments. Once again, another inbound. Cruz to delay the foul. He's not even gonna try it this time. They're just gonna concede, it appears. And that's gonna do it. The final score, 48-43. Cheltenham's gonna win it. Hard-fought game. Cheltenham with a nice comeback. They were down 8 points at one point early on in this game. Huge effort from Mark Hill to will them back into this one, as well as Harmon and Mosley. They were doing their part. Martin and McClendon critical for the size advantage. On the other end, Jorge Cruz and Jameel Wade were the 2 stars of the show. And as well as give a shout out to Namir Jones, who's under the hoop a lot, getting a lot of those second chance boards against, he's outmatched, taking on McClendon and Martin in the size game, but still able to get a lot of rebounds. But that's going to do it for the second game of the slate here. Once again, the final score 48-43, Cheltenham over Christiana. You're watching the Battle of the Borders, and we've got another one coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So stay right here on the Sports Fan Base Network. We've got a fun matchup coming up for you next. Hello and welcome everyone to the fourth game of our Battle of the Borders slate here. We've got a good one for you. Collegium's in black, that blackish blue, and Roxborough in that royal blue. Possession goes to Roxborough off the rip, and we've got a 3 to start this game off. It's drilled. That's Quincy Wells. So Collegium, we'll call them the Cougars. And it's stolen by Roxborough. Up and over, no good. Second chance won't fall. Fighting for the third opportunity, but getting fouled before the shot was put up. That's David Ross. So possession gonna head to the Cougars in black. Working with it now. Oh, and tripping. That was an awkward one. Is Manny Gonzalez. Inside. It's worked back out outside the three-point arc. 7 seconds to shoot. It's Edwards. Edwards way short off the front of the rim. Head the other way with Moore. Moore cutting pass with his left hand. He won't take that opportunity. Instead, he'll give it up to Wolf. Wolf will take a 3. Wolf shot, no good. Feliciano navigating through traffic. Shot up. Won't fall. Swatted out. And now with it is Wells. To the outside, the foul. Won't get the roll. We'll see Tara Morris be sent to the line for Roxborough. He's tapping himself on the chest. He wanted that one to go. 3-0, an early lead for Roxborough, looking to extend it. We see them play in the Philly Got Game League, also covered by the Sports Fanbase Network. And that one is a high-octane, high-energy, really high-level basketball league for the high school division. So it should be no surprise that Roxborough's coming out swinging early. Find themselves with a 4-point lead. Here's Manny. Inside, worked. Floater off the glass, won't go. And it's swatted. That was Wells. Get out of his face. In transition the other way. Foul going to be called. The victim is David Ross. He was sent to the floor. Now he'll be sent to the line. Getting some coaching points. Can hear the Roxborough head coach say, hey, no foul baiting here. Go up with that. Go up strong. Roxborough trying to play an ethical brand of hoops here. Second free throw, no good. So 0 for 2 goes Roxborough on their free throws, and it's headed in the direction of Collegium. Picked the pocket in transition, but the last to touch it was a Roxborough defender. So we'll stay with Barrett and the Cougars. Barrett's inbound, finds its way nicely inside. And an easy finish for Feliciano. Feliciano, the shooter early, the first bucket for Collegium. Here's Moore, worked across to Wolf. Wolf works to his left. Tried to drop it off to Moore, but it was just out of reach. So now here's Manny. Manny working against Moore. Over to Feliciano. Feliciano for 3. It's buried. Put it 6 feet under and put a headstone on top. Feliciano came to play. Here's Wolf looking to respond. Cougars with a 1-point lead. And they're going to say Wolf traveled. Wolf didn't seem to agree with the call, but Roxborough head coach said, hey, man, official was right there. He caught you clear as day. Caught you in 4K, caught you red-handed. Here's Moore trying to steal a possession right back. He couldn't find Wolf, and Manny is pestering him on the other end. Moore fought his way back through traffic. Now working along the baseline is Morris. Morris kicks it into Wells. Wells up. No good. Foul going to be called here against Roxborough. They're going to get David Ross for a loose ball foul over the back. It's a tough call to go against Roxborough in the early goings here. Collegium, a little confusion there. They thought the court one whistle was our whistle, and they threw that ball away. Manny was sliding for it, trying to keep it in bounds, but he couldn't quite get there in time. Here's Wolf, looking to do some damage and retake the lead. To his right, shot up, way short. Nothing but net, but not in a good way. Score will remain 5-4. That inbounds is nearly intercepted by Ross, but Jackson has it. Works to Feliciano, and Feliciano just has his pocket picked. It was Ross screaming back in transition. He just got a hand on it. Wolf thought about a three for a second. He'll recalibrate, kick to the corner. That three just a bit long off the hand of Morris. Here we go the other way very quickly, and that rolls right off the iron. Wolf just couldn't corral it for long enough, but able to dump it out. It finds its way to the corner. Seemed like everyone thought that whistle was not for us, but they're going to say stepped out of bounds. Did the Roxborough offensive player, and a timeout now going to be called by Roxborough. Score 5-4 with 11 minutes to play here in this first half, so still plenty of time. Both teams just feeling each other out. You're watching the Battle of the Borders here on the Sports Fan Base Network. We welcome you back as the inbound heads to Feliciano. Feliciano trying to wiggle past, and that's Morris. He'll shake loose. Ball kicked down to the baseline. It'll rim off the iron. Offensive rebound is swatted. That was Moore. They're going to get Moore with the foul. Just a little bit overzealous. So 2 free throws pending now for Christmas. Waiting the second free throw now. First one no good, second one drained. 5-6 now the score. Still a very low scoring game here in the early goings. Here's Jacob Moore working against Christmas. Blow the whistle early on. They said Roxborough stepped out of bounds on that. Wait, his plant foot when he stepped to the side to get some traction. That little back step was enough to head out of bounds. So here's Manny now working against Moore. He picked up his dribble. It's a precarious spot. And recognizing that is the Collegium bench, they're going to call a timeout. So 6-4 is the score. And we've got about 10 seconds to get the ball across half court for Collegium when we get back. It's a 6-4 game, 9 minutes to play. We'll take a quick break here. You're watching the Battle of the Borders on the Sports Fan Base Network. We're back now. Collegium to inbound. They've got 10 seconds to make it across. Christmas, the full head of steam. He'll go behind the back, mid-range. Can't get that one to go home. Gets his own board. Now he'll go up again with it, and he'll be blocked by Wells. Quincy Wells is a demon in the paint that this Collegium squad just can't seem to shake. Jackson. Jackson's going to be fouled. And Ross is in utter disbelief. Substitute now coming in for Ross, who's starting to creep into foul trouble. His relief will come in the form of Seth Robinson, number 10 in blue, but Feliciano not able to bury that very easy short jumper, although I will admit sometimes those tight-in shots where you're not really looking at the backboard, you're kind of at a perpendicular angle or a parallel angle to the hoop. It can be a little tricky, a little misleading. Christmas able to save that before it heads back court. He'll work it down. Work it inside, shot up, shot in. That's Edwards. Edwards finally getting active today. They need him to start churning a little bit. Feliciano defending Wolf. Wolf shook him, kicked it to Moore. Moore for three, air ball. So we'll stay 8-4. Roxborough's shots are seemingly allergic to the basket right now. Feels like it's been days since they've scored. It's 8-4 still. Christmas can't corral the inbound, and Roxborough will be able to steal a possession here. Let's see if they can capitalize. To inbound is Melvin Lawson. Lawson, he'll find Robinson. Robinson back to Wolf. Wolf will be guarded tightly outside the three-point arc, but he'll cut in masterfully. Can't get the finish, and an elegant and one. That's Quincy Wells. All right, so Wells heads to the line. It feels like Collegium has absolutely taken over this game as of recently, yet the score is just 8-6. Only 6 minutes to play here in this first half. We're over 12 minutes of basketball down and only 14 points to show for it. Collegium's got it in the corner. It was knocked away. That was Lawson who swatted it out of the hands of Miller. Now we'll get another crack at it. Here's Miller working against Lawson. Work to the corner. And he'll be stuffed as he tried to carry it through. And Collegium trying to steal their possession right back will incur a foul. Roxborough with a chance to sneak their way back in now. Here's Wolf. Off to his right. He's guarded by Twineman. Wolf's got a step. puts one up. That's going to be blocked. Foul called. A little bit too much contact there for Parmitter. Wolf going to get some coaching points now before he takes his free throws. So 4:45 to play and counting, 8-7 the score. First shot is up and good for Nahir Wolf. This game is back tied up at 8. With plenty of basketball left to be played. That second one's going to fall. Roxborough retakes the lead as Manny carries across half court, down into the corner, shot up, it's blocked. That's Morris. Came soaring over, elevating through. Just getting a piece of it. Twyman to inbound. Tried to make its way inside, but just couldn't get to his target. Knocked out of bounds by Roxborough. They'll get another crack at it. That chance is swatted away. And Roxborough is going to retake possession, so their smothering defense on the inbound has netted them an extra possession here, up 9-8. Up along the baseline, a lot of contact. He'll be fouled. And heading to the line is Tara Morris. So it's death by 1,000 paper cuts here for Collegium, as it seems like Roxborough has gotten almost all of their points from the free throw line. Time still winding. 3 minutes to play here in this first half, as that first free throw is missed by Morris. Looking to redeem himself now and put his team up 2 is Morris. He'll do just that. But they'll say he stepped into the paint before shot hit the rim or went through. So no good on the bucket. We'll stay at 9-8. Here's Edwards. Edwards got to fight through now, and he'll do just that. Going coast to coast, initiating contact. Ball rattles out of bounds, and they'll say that Morris was the last to touch it. Possession will stay, no foul called. Saw Edwards there, screaming down the court with a full head of steam. Just not able to do much with it. Feliciano now checking back into the game. He'll take the spot of number 10. That's Parmitter. Foul now going to be called. This time it's going to go against Collegium. Another just critical mental mistake, and we find ourselves with 1:30 left now as Wolf battles across half court against Christmas. Wolf slicing through 2, off the glass, off the front of the rim, no good. Wells to clean it up. Yes, sir, indeed. 1:20 to play. Here's Christmas with his right. Spinning back left, losing control for a second. And a savvy move made by Roxborough. Not going to prove fruitful, however. We've seen that a lot today. Players trying to throw a ball headed out of bounds off of an opposing player. Another attempt at it there, just not going to work out in Roxborough's favor. Parmitter to Manny. Manny for 2. That one clanged off the front of the rim. Here's Moore. Moore to Wolf. Wolf's working against Feliciano. Now he's got Parmitter on him. Skip pass. Shot up. Won't fall. Manny's got 25 seconds to work. He's got an aggressive Alvarez in his face. But able to get away. Here's Christmas mid-range. Can't find its way home. Feliciano's blocked. Just 8 seconds to work here for Wells. Wells, power inside. Yes, and easy. Christmas, he's got 1 second. No time. And that shot not going to fall to end this half. So the final score of this first half is 13-8. Roxborough and Collegium here in a slugfest. Low-scoring defensive battle. Just waiting for one of these two teams to catch fire offensively, but you're watching the Battle of the Borders here on the Sports Fanbase Network. We'll check back in about a minute and a half for the second half action here on the Sports Fanbase Network. And we welcome you back here to the Nothing But Net Sports Academy, where we've got 18 more minutes of basketball here on the Sports Fanbase Network. You're watching the Battle of the Borders as Roxborough retakes the court, as does Collegium. Just being so close to the Roxborough huddle, we kind of heard a couple of their coaching points during the half. Could hear the coach say, stop with the threes, drive to the hoop, impose your will. So something we could see Roxborough do a bit more here in this second half is attack the rim at a higher clip. We'll see if Collegium's got an answer for that. Here's Christmas. Kicks it to the corner, mid-range. Way too long. Feliciano there for the board. Work to Manny. Manny for three. Manny's short. Spinning for the rebound is Wolf. He'll carry across half court. Christmas in defense. Worked across. Hesitation made by Moore. Moore with Feliciano in defense. Decides might be easier to kick it over to Wolf. Wolf for three. Short. Not going to take the coaching point early is Wolf as he puts one up fresh out of the break. Possession going to head to Collegium here. For the Cougars now taking it across half court is Edwards. Edwards facing off against Wells. That's a fun matchup where Wells has gotten the better of it all day today. Feliciano, he's had a nice start. Worked over. Edwards, yeah. That was a three-ball money from Edwards. A nice way to start the half off. It's 13-11. Here's Moore. Calling off the Dogs as Wells came in to set a screen, but he put a three up in response. That one was off the mark, but able to clean up it was Dante Alvarez. Now we see David Ross checking back into the game. He's going to take the spot of number 8, Quincy Wells. Second free throw on the way from Alvarez. That one way off the mark, didn't hit the rim. So we'll head back for an inbounds here. Moore gonna head down to greet Edwards on the inbound line. There's more defending against Christmas. Christmas loses it for a second. Ball head out of bounds before Feliciano is there to make the save. Robinson setting the screen. Moore's going to take it. He's working against Parmitter. Thought about a three for a second, but he'll kick it over to the corner. Here's Wolf. Wolf. Yes! Here's Manny now looking to respond the other way. He'll lose it for a second. It's knocked out of bounds, but not able to get there in time with Seth Robinson. Cougars will retain possession. It's a 7-point difference with 15 to play. Here's Edwards. Edwards going to swing it. Manny thought about a three, but he'll try to work inside, and he will be fouled. Nahir Wolf, the perpetrator. Edwards couldn't corral it. Other way we go, and a nice and easy finish for David Ross. Here's Manny pushing the pace the other way. He just lost it again. Able to re-get possession. He'll push it back to Christmas. Christmas working against Moore. Christmas inside. Christmas can't get it to go. And luckily, inside is Parmitter for the second chance bucket. Here's Wolf looking to respond. Worked over to the wing. Moore not going to take that. Instead, he'll push to the corner where Parmitter's defense is too strong for him. So now it's Wolf at the top of the key, and a timeout will be called. And Roxborough head coach not liked what he was seeing there on the offensive end. So he'll call his squad over, and we'll take a break right there. It's 20-13. You're watching the Battle of the Borders. This is the Sports Fan Base Network. Here's Ross to inbound, skip pass, Wolf, three. Front of the rim won't fall. That was right at the end of the shot clock. They had to get that one up. Now it's Christmas the other way. Christmas cuts through two, got it. Much needed bucket for the Cougars. Comes off the hand of Christmas. Now it's Moore for three on the wing. Rattles off the left side. He'll get a second crack at it. It won't go. Edwards on the board. Barrett there to meet him. He just got by Barrett like a traffic cone, but couldn't finish as Wolf now carries back across. Wolf spins inside. And they're not going to call any foul there despite the contact. Possession will head to the Cougars. And then vehement disagreement is Roxborough's head coach. Feliciano now to inbound. And it's intercepted by Wolf. Wolf puts one up immediately. He's got it to go. Christmas slips past Moore. Christmas loses it to Ross. Here's Moore, 1-on-2. He'll be fouled. Feliciano, the perpetrator. 12 minutes to play here as Roxborough has a 22-15 lead. Chance to send that up a little bit more. Moore's first shot won't connect. There's about 12 minutes to play here. Roxborough has been in control here for a pretty good margin of this game, despite their offensive firepower really not being there. Collegium's just kind of had no answers. Nobody on the Collegium offense has really been able to get going, apart from maybe Feliciano in the early goings. But here's Wolf working against Feliciano, and he'll get that one to spin back home. Taking it the other way. It's Twyman. Twyman's working against Alvarez. Alvarez getting the better of him here. It's worked back to Feliciano. Alvarez still in defense. Feliciano now trying to make something happen. He won't do it. It's knocked away by Alvarez. Spectacular play. Here's Moore. Up in ethereal. Foul going to be called against Feliciano. And Wolf will head to the line for two. Padres, he's only shooting one here on the end one. His shot up and good. Gonna give Roxborough a 27-15 lead. It's really starting to extend here. Wolf there is gonna be called. Transition foul. See an inbound now from Twyman. He finds Feliciano. Feliciano working against Alvarez. Alvarez, strong defender, but Feliciano able to get by him there and draw the foul called. Some work to do here as Feliciano and the Cougars are down 12 with just 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play. It was a tight game early, low scoring as well. Just Roxborough kicking it into another gear. Really off the back of Wolf, Ross, Alvarez defense. They've been unstoppable. Here's Morris. To the corner, it's Wolf. Wolf jump cut inside, dumps it off to Ross. Ross has got it. Stunning ball movement. His chance with an open floor, and he's going to get decked. Foul going to be called against Ross. Ross is in some pain. And also slow to get up is Herb Jackson. He took a lot of contact. He's grabbing up around his head. Jackson will be helped to the floor, and he's shaken up. Coach will help him off the sideline. He really struggled to get off the court there. Jackson had 2 free throws. We'll wait and see if he's able to take them. By the looks of it, it really doesn't appear. So, coach gives a thumbs up, which is a good sign for Jackson, but it'll probably be at least a couple of minutes before we see Jackson check back into this one. To take his free throws is going to be Edwards. These certainly are an impactful 2 free throws, at least for the momentum's sake. Your squad down 12. First one finds its way through. This could be enormous. The momentum could flip just like that. Both shots are nailed by Edwards. This is a position here where Roxborough has got to make sure they keep their foot on the gas. 3 on the way, 3 up, no good. Way off the mark from Moore. Working with it the other way is Miller. Miller's facing off against Wolf. Miller directing traffic now, moving to his right. Step back. Off the mark. Moore's got it. He's directing the full court. Whistle's called foul. A turnover here for Roxborough. That is not what they needed with their lead only down to 10. But Collegium a chance to get back in it here. We'll see an inbound from Twyman. Twyman now going to find Miller. Miller slicing towards the right, now to his left. Now back right, juked a man out of his shoes. Christmas kicks it off. Can't get the finish. That's heartbreaking for Collegium. Wolf steps through. Stunner. That looked pretty from Wolf. Miller looking to get his lick back. He'll take a foul hard into the face. The perpetrator, number 9, Melvin Lawson. So now Christmas to inbound. David Ross will take a seat on the bench. Quincy Wells to take his spot. And Miller fields the inbound. Lawson, a really strong defender. No surprise they've got him in here for the closeout. Edwards just spins away from Wells. He'll take a lot of contact as he cuts through the paint, and he'll certainly be sent to the line for 2. You can tell Roxborough's working a really physical brand of defense here, making everything earned for Collegium. No free baskets, no free space. Absolutely nothing coming easily. First free throw off the mark. That is a heartbreaker for Collegium. Now to check in is Manny. He's going to take the spot of Twyman. So with about 5 minutes to play and a 13-point deficit, it is not looking good for Collegium. Although they're going to steal a possession there. They're going to steal a possession there on the baseline. They're able to get the rebound, although Wolf is able to steal it right back. Manny going to be called with a foul against Wolf in transition. So now here's Moore carrying it across. Moore going to be guarded by Christmas. He's cutting through 2. Christmas able to track him down from behind, but he'll be called with the foul. Four minutes and 30. Situation looking ever more dire now for Collegium. Shocking, they've only put up 18 points here. Here's Lawson for 3, airballed. Edwards fielded that like a punt. Now it's Christmas. Back to Edwards. Edwards working from the logo. Now to his left, cutting inside, and he'll be blocked by Wells. That's the 3rd block of the day for Quincy Wells. He has been an animal inside. Oh, they're going to call him with the foul there instead. They didn't miss the hand signal. Looked like he got mostly ball there, but Edwards is going to get his 5th and 6th consecutive free throw here in the last 3 possessions, and so far he's missed 3 of the last 4, or 3 of the last 5 rather. He got 4 out of the last 5, 4 of the last 6. It's tough going for Edwards here from the stripe. Wolf for three. Not going to go. Moore trying to chase down the rebound, and he'll step out of bounds before he could corral it. Feliciano, an easy inbound to Christmas. Christmas trying to work against Moore, trying to get some space. He's able to wiggle free for a three. That is so far long. That skipped off the top of the backboard. Who would have thought? All respect to Christmas, but that looked like me shooting a three. Here's Wolf. He'll face the double team and skip it right to Moore. Now inside. Foul called. Tara Morris is trying to put up a shot. And it was Parmitter who they're going to credit with the contact that sent Morris to the line. Time starting to wind away. 2 minutes we hit. It's a 13-point deficit, and it'll stay at 13 as that free throw is missed. It's been sloppy from either team today. Both teams really gave the other an opportunity to steal this one away from them, but neither squad really took over. Roxborough playing better offensively today, but even still, they have not been shooting very efficiently. Here's Edwards worked inside. That's Wells defending, and they're going to get Wells once again. They're going to call Wells with that because it's not only is he going up for these blocks and getting a piece of a hand maybe or the ball, you can really see the SWAT motion that he has with every block. So every time an official sees a hand moving downwards or swiping towards a player shooting, they're going to call that foul whether there was contact or not. So we saw Wells there a little bit confused with the call. Kind of heard Coach say the same thing I just did. But it's all about optics when you're trying to avoid a foul call. Finally, a free throw finds its way through for Edwards. Minute 35 to play. 31-19 the score. It's a 12-point difference. Feliciano defending. Double team on the way against Wolf. He'll get out of it. And it's just thrown away by Morris. Now Feliciano carrying. He's got a minute 15 to work. He's working against Morris. He'll push into his left, spinning to his right. Can't get that one to fall. Morris the other way, jump stop, it'll be blocked. Edwards now takes it right back. He'll drill behind the back, have it stolen, and Wolf will slow things down. Wolf with 20 seconds to shoot. He's guarded staunchly by Christmas. Not a lot of time left. 4 seconds to shoot. This one's up by Morris. Drained. That's the dagger, certainly, if there wasn't one already. Here's Manny the other way, just trying to save face. Rebound obtained. Christmas mid-range, but a foul called before. So as time expires now, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, that's going to do it. 34-19 the final. Roxborough wins it. Tough day offensively for Collegium. They really couldn't get much going. It was stifling defense led by Quincy Wells and Dante Alvarez. Left guys like Edwards and Manny and Feliciano with no hope, nothing to do. But a nice effort from Roxborough, and that's going to do it for this game here in the Battle of the Borders. We've got another one coming up in about 13 minutes or so, so stay right here on the Sports Fan Base Network. You're watching the Battle of the Borders. We've got more basketball coming right up.